essentially, if you are not able to maintain abs throughout an off season and you don't take the time to reverse diet, you truly can't call yourself a bodybuilder. What's going on, YouTube? Welcome back to today's video. In today's video, we are talking about the hardest part of bodybuilding, and that is going to be reverse dieting. Now, I have made videos in the past on reverse dieting, but you know, it's 2023. It's been like 9 to 10 years since I made that video, so we're going to talk about it now. And it helps because I just finished competing in my 4th bodybuilding competition a little over a month ago, so I'm currently in the process of reverse dieting, and I thought I would share my thoughts on it, give you guys some important insight to hold on to as you reverse diet. So at a high level, if you don't know what reverse dieting is, essentially you are doing the opposite steps you took to diet down, get shredded, whether it was for a competition, just to get lean, whatever it is, whatever steps you took to diet down, you should essentially do the opposite steps to get back to your caloric maintenance or into a bulk. A very common misconception is when you finish a show, obviously you're in a very depleted state, low and depleted in glycogen, and you just feel terrible and you don't have the pressure of the stage to follow a diet. So now you kind of want to veer off plan, and the reason why this is a dangerous mindset to maintain and a dangerous place to be is because there is a post-show rebound. You have that window where you're able to get away with kind of eating like a dumpster, eating whatever bad food you've been craving, and you really won't see much fat gain at first. You know, you smash some cheeseburgers, you see those 5,000 to 10,000 calorie cheat meals post-show, and then the next day they take a picture and they're still just as lean and shredded, and it's because they're so depleted. And that is true, that is the case. However, that is a very small window. Your thyroid, your metabolism is in a very sensitive spot post-show, and if you continue to eat 5,000 to 10,000 calories a day, or just literally are just throwing whatever you're craving into your body for extended period of time, you are very susceptible to immense fat gain. And now, not only do I know this because of people I've seen, like Larry Wheels put on 50 pounds in like 5 days. Anthony Mantello, I think one of his first shows, he put on like 30 pounds in a week or something absurd. Now, my very first show, which was a keto diet that I followed, and I had no idea what keto was, I did the same thing, and I put on 30 pounds in about 2 weeks myself. And at first I was like, oh man, I'm getting huge. This is great. I'm seeing lines still. But then like I was essentially lying to myself. And over time, I just realized I went from being that lean and shredded on stage looking to how I looked before I even started a prep. And that's a very tricky place to be mentally, especially if you suffer with body dysmorphia. To go from being super shredded, and for me personally, it was like the first time I had visible abs, and then like it was gone in an instant. And I tried to trick myself saying I developed all this muscle and tissue, but then when I prepped the next year, I was like, yeah, I'm a little bit heavier, but I thought I put on so much more muscle. So it's like you almost put on fake weight. And obviously, for me personally, this year, from Saturday and Sunday, I put on like 10 pounds. Going into the night show, I was about 171 pounds, and I went up to 181 by Monday. And in my mind, I was freaking out. But I got back on plan right away. I'd still checked in with Dom. You got to remember, if you go from being depleted on stage where you're dehydrating yourself, I was drinking water again, you know, eating all these foods. So even though, yes, I had put on some weight, it wasn't all fat. And I knew that Dom helped me, you know, calm down and reassured me that as well too. Even now, I'm a 1 month post show, and this morning I was 180 pounds. So I'm literally only 9 pounds over my stage weight going into the night show. So this is by far the best I have ever maintained my physique post show, and I'm really happy with it because it shows maturity in the sport and it shows growth in the sport. And that is the key to bodybuilding. That is the key to having a successful off season is discipline. Yeah, having a show is great, or wanting to, you know, compete in something is great motivation, but when the motivation's gone, what's left is up to you. Being disciplined to stick to a diet, to reverse properly, reverse slowly. Like I'm probably up roughly 300, 400 calories. I'm still doing cardio. Would it be nice to have jumped right into a bulk? Yeah, because even in my second show, I didn't reverse diet properly, but I was like, oh, I'm eating all this food and doing it with clean foods like brown rice and sweet potatoes. Like, I won't gain fat, but you still do because, again, your metabolism is in a sensitive spot. Your thyroid is in a sensitive spot. And I had heard a quote from one of my favorite bodybuilders, Josh Halliday, who was talking about reverse dieting and how it's important and you need to do it properly. Essentially, if you are not able to maintain abs throughout an off season and you don't take the time to reverse diet, you truly can't call yourself a bodybuilder. You truly can't consider yourself an athlete. And that was the mindset and approach I'm taking this reverse diet. Is I want to be considered an athlete. Like, obviously bodybuilding isn't a conventional sport. I grew up playing football, basketball, baseball. I'm used to sports. I try to relate things to sports and I want to be an athlete. So the way I have to be an athlete is by being disciplined. Baseball players and football players don't stop training. They don't take time off during the off season and just come back in training camp and expect to be great. They work at it throughout the entire time. They work throughout the off season, and that's what I plan to do here. I want to be considered a real bodybuilder. I'm not going to be this extreme dieter. And if you can't take the time to learn how to be disciplined to reverse diet properly, you really shouldn't consider yourself a real bodybuilder either. Kind of a hot take, strong take, but it's the truth. At the end of the day, like somebody like Larry Wheels should be able to maintain that discipline, especially with a coach. And Anthony Mantello now has it down. Like, if you look at his off-season pictures right now where he's at with his coach Kyle, he looks insane. He still has his abs throughout off-season, still has lines in his legs. Like, dude's going to look insane his next prep. So that's somebody to follow and kind of take note from. Obviously, it's a little different for those guys because they're not natty like your boy. But either way, it's something to look up to. It's someone to strive towards. Don't get caught up in the guys who are able to get away with these insane cheat meals on a consistent basis because they're running gears. That's going to be it, guys. Reverse dieting is the hardest part of bodybuilding. It is the most important part of bodybuilding. And if you truly want to consider yourself a bodybuilder and a real athlete, it's something you need to master and nail down. Work with a coach, be disciplined, be focused, be intentional, and make those gains. Thank you so much for watching. Please drop that like. Comment down below. Do you reverse diet? Have you reverse diet? What are your struggles when you reverse dieting? Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Turn on the notification bell. Send the video to a friend. But most importantly, don't forget to have a great day or night. Don't forget to keep God number one. God bless.